Hey everyone, it's saying I'm live now, so I'm going to assume that I am. Thanks for your patience and giving me a few extra minutes today. I was just shipping out orders, which I desperately wanted to get done before going live just because it's like a weight off my mind and I can just, have fun more if I've already done all the work I have to do. Well, I still have more work to do later, but anyway, all of the postcard work, or at least related to that. I'm trying to check. Okay, I have my audio settings the same as last time. I have all the settings turned off that seem to fix the issue, but let me know how I sound, please, if everything is all right. I'm gonna refresh myself to make sure I'm live. Yeah, looking like we're good. I do actually have a question somebody sent me yesterday, I believe, to yeah, answer on the show. So, um, gonna go ahead and pull up her question. She said, let's see. I read it yesterday, but I didn't summarize or anything. Okay, she says, and this is from Pixie Mom. As far as I know, eBay doesn't allow watermarks, yet I see many sellers, including some of your regular listeners, using them successfully. I've always avoided watermarks to stay within eBay's rules, but I'm about to list some extremely rare circus postcards and cabinet cards of circus acts that I am terrified to post because of image theft. And she goes on to say that essentially, has anyone had any problems using watermarks? Have listings been taken down because of watermarks? I don't know whether or not to use them. So, since she emailed specifically to ask the question for this show, well, I think she did. Yeah, she did. I figured I would start off with that today. So yeah, I would say I've never, I mean, anybody, if you have any different opinions in the chat, feel free to chime in. But I have never heard of a single eBay seller getting a listing taken down because it had a watermark. So I would say if you're concerned about that, yeah, just go ahead and do the watermarks. It's totally fine. The reason why I don't do watermarks is mainly, I mean, the eBay rule against it is a small part of it, but mainly the reason why I don't is because it takes so much extra time and uh, yeah, I've seen the image thieves on eBay post the postcards as a copy with the watermark on it. So it's not always the best deterrent. If it's not well done, watermarks are pretty easy to remove in Photoshop, and I could probably get rid of most watermarks on eBay in Photoshop, and I'm not like a Photoshop expert or anything. And as like AI photo tools get better, they're going to be easier and easier to remove. So that's part of the reason why I don't do watermarks personally. But I say if you are worried about it and it will make you feel better, absolutely put watermarks on it. And you shouldn't have to worry about any of your listings getting taken down, even though it is technically against eBay's rules to have the watermarks on there. I have never once seen them enforce this rule, and if anybody else in the chat has ever seen differently, feel free to chime in. But yeah, it is a rule technically, but I've never once seen them enforce it, and it's kind of just I don't really know why they have that rule if they don't enforce it, but I'm sure they have other rules they don't enforce either. So yeah, that's my answer on that. I do have also a postcard I wanted to talk about today. So starting with an agenda, let me get to some comments here. Well, I just skipped over Philip. Philip says hi all. Nancy says hello, hello. 63 in Chicago. Hardiest plans pushed outside, hopefully for the summer and more soon. Yeah, I would say, I mean, in Georgia, we're hoping we're done with the last frost, but in Chicago, I don't know. I would be worried about winter being over. I feel like snows are usually later in Chicago. Thomas said, "Thanks for Monday's PDF of publishers. Thank you for being a member." So I did put out a PDF of valuable publishers on Patreon Monday. There are 12 publishers in that list, and I did have more initially, but I did some research on certain publishers and took a few off. So one that I took off is the Island Curio company out of Hawaii, just because I couldn't find any evidence that their postcards actually sold more than other Hawaiian postcards. I think it's mainly just uh, what's it called? Old Wives' Tale? No, no, but yeah, when I looked up Island Curio postcards and I looked up, tried to enter some search because all the Island Curio for the most part are before 1920. I entered some search terms to try to get Hawaiian postcards before 1920, and yeah, it looks like they sell for, Island Curio doesn't add any value basically. So I took them off, but I put another one on there. Actually, there's two that are Hawaii related, and I might add another one that somebody mentioned, Carla mentioned this morning, I think. But yeah, I'm really excited with how it came out, and thanks for checking it out. I did want to show you a postcard that I just sold, and I'll pull that up. I teased it a little bit in my what sold video yesterday, and I was like, hopefully this sells by the next what sold video. So you're getting a sneak peek of a postcard that will probably be my highest sold postcard in next week's video. I mean, I say very likely will be the highest sold. Although, stranger things have happened, right? Yeah, I listed this, and let me just see if I can share. Okay, present, share screen. I got it. Okay. Okay, you should be able to see it now. Yeah, I sold this postcard just before going live. And it's so funny because I found this in a lot a couple weeks ago, and yeah, just got around to listing it. When I saw it in the lot, at first I was like, well, it's a pretty boring card, but at least it's a Halloween card, so maybe I can get about 20 bucks out of it. And then right after I had that thought, I was like, actually, you know what? I've had really good luck selling these kind of boring looking Halloween cards. So, this one might sell pretty good. But yeah, look for these. I don't even know what to call them. It is by The Rose Co. was the publisher, which I put in the title, and I just found that out from reverse image searching it. Welcome in, Fart Sack Jack. He says, I'm here, you can start. You were a little late, but I was also a little late, so I forgive you. Yeah, so it's something that's different from Halloween postcards and a lot of other holiday postcards, because for example, the reason why I initially thought this one wouldn't be worth much is because if you have a Christmas postcard like this, and it has kind of a border, and then kind of a sepia tone picture in the middle, that postcard generally is not going to be as valuable as like a nice full color Santa Claus postcard, for example. So when I saw that, that's why I initially thought this about the Halloween postcard. But I've had a few Halloween postcards sell for over $200, and they were all looked boring to me at first glance. So I know everybody always looks for any Halloween postcards, but just wanted to throw that out there to, yeah, keep an eye out for the boring looking ones, because a lot of times they're, really uncommon and really more valuable. Of course, the winch and the schmucker and the clap saddle Halloween ones sell really well, some more than others, but I was very surprised and happy that this one sold for $320. And there was, I don't know if I sold one or I had found one exactly like this that had sold. There were others in the same series that had sold. The highest selling one I could find sold for $305 in maybe a year or two ago, so that's how I based my price. But yeah, very happy with that one. I listed another Halloween postcard for pretty good money today. Actually, I'm going to try and find that one. I forget what exactly I listed it for, but I had another one. Let's see. Another one go up today that was for, oh yeah, I priced that one at $250. So we'll see what that one sells for. So not quite as much, but still very, very valuable. And don't think those are normal even for Halloween cards, because I would say probably 25 to 50% of my Halloween postcards I sell around 20 bucks or so, 15 to 20 bucks. And then, another 25% maybe around 40 to 50. And then a handful of them are more expensive than that. And yeah, very happy to find them. Let's see, catch up to the chat. Hal says hello to everyone. Welcome in, Hal. Me and Hal were both under the weather. We think it's unrelated. Both went under the weather last week, so that's why I didn't have a stream. And also Wednesday left for, or Thursday, went out of town for a wedding. So been quite busy, but finally feeling better. I was sick it was like right after I got better from the previous sickness, I got sick again. So hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully I'm not gonna get sick again this winter. Smucker, funny word. Schmucker, yeah. Samuel Schmucker. I just, realized this when you said that. Postcard artists and publishers have some weird names, because I don't think I've ever met anyone else with the last name Schmucker, or with the last name Winch, or with the last name Clapsaddle. Very interesting names. They're almost like stage names or something. But I believe they're all their real names. Smuckers. Yeah, Smuckers. Schmucker. I'm going to look up how common the last name Schmucker is. Okay, it's German. Schmucker, last name. How common. Okay, okay. The chances of having the last name Schmucker are about 1 in 1.1 million. So in Ancestry, it says there are 6,000 records for the last name Schmucker. So yeah, very uncommon. Let me see about Clapsaddle. Clapsaddle is a very strange name. It sounds like something, I don't know, I think of horses. Clapsaddle is even less common. About 1 in 7 million people have the last name Clapsaddle. So when Clapsaddle was making postcards, there were probably only, how many people are in the US then? Like 100 million? So she was probably only one of 15 Clapsaddles in the country, maybe. Rough math. Now let me check Winch. Winch is... Winch is even more uncommon. That's crazy. Winch is held by approximately 1 in 29 million people. And this says in 1840 there were 2 Winch families in the U.S. I think. 2. Oh yeah, in 1840 there were 2 Winch families. Oh, living in Ohio. Oh, but that was the only Winches in the U.S. Or that were the only Winches in the U.S. Those were. Oh yeah, interesting. Last names are very uncommon for those 3 postcard people, like I thought. Fartsack Jack says, Nancy Ann, nice day, a few hours south. Yeah, I forgot what town you're in, but I know you're in there in Illinois. Beautiful countryside, by the way, in rural Illinois. We've gone through there a few times. Wife has family in Illinois. I like the colder country. I would live out there if we had family or anything, but I like, having a lot of land and stuff. We have a little bit of land here. More yards than a lot of people, but I like the idea of having a lot of land and living in a place where it snows a decent bit. Maybe that is a West Coast jelly. Does somebody not know what Schmuckers is? Let's see. Thomas says, is there a site on identifying artists on cards, specifically the abbreviated signatures? Good question. I don't know of a good website. I do have a book. Sorry, didn't mean to abandon the stream. This book, as far as I know, is the best resource called... Well, you can't... Oh, that doesn't look backwards. Can you read that? Looks right on my screen. Guide to Artist Signatures and Monograms on Postcards by Sala. Sala. Yeah, that's the best resource I know of. I don't know of any websites. I mean, I know there are websites that have some publisher information, but I don't know of a website specifically for identifying artist signatures on postcards. What I usually do, and you can do this, I never actually use the book. I just have it in case I need it. But what I usually do is reverse image search the postcard on eBay. And then also Google sometimes if I can't find anything on eBay. But usually there's maybe a seller or two that has the artist identified. So that's helped me identify some cards that I didn't know the artist on. But yeah, I don't. You probably don't need to buy the book. I got it on sale when I think it was like $40 or $50 maybe, and it's oftentimes over 100, but or around 100. So I don't think you would need to go out and buy the book. If anybody knows any websites, feel free to tell them to Fartsack Jack, and you can put them in the chat, or Old Man in the Stream, who's also a moderator. But yeah, that would be nice to have that information online. There is some website that has a lot of postcard publisher information. What did I find? I'm trying to think of how I can find this website. Or the words I need to tell Google to tell me to, or to let me find this website. They had a lot of information about, oh, winchbacks. Let's see, winch. Okay, yeah. This is the website. I'll put this in the chat. This website, okay, this actually might be, oh, this is kind of close to what you're looking for, I think. I always mean to bookmark this website, but let's see. Okay, this website is called the Postcard Album, and here, I'll just drop it in the chat. They look to have a good bit of information about artists. I don't think they have as much information as that book, which is just, you know, an insane amount of information. They mainly have information about publishers, it looks like. Actually, now that I'm looking more at their site, they might have some information about artists. I know some artists were the publishers of their cards, or, you know, close to it. Like, a lot of people call Winch an artist, even though he was just a publisher. But yeah, that website's probably the closest thing I know of. If anybody else knows anything, feel free to enlighten us. Yeah, already getting too many tabs open. Let's see. Carla says, hello everyone. Hello, Carla, and thank you for the tips on... I'm going to forget. I need to open up the guide. The tips on the publishers and artists that you gave me for the guide, those were really cool. And I think I had heard of the Hilo drug company before, but I had not heard of the other one. So that was very great to put that information in there. Philip says, if it's a Schmucker's postcard, it has to be good. Yeah, Schmucker's jellies, jams, and postcards are all wonderful. Josh says, hello, Daniel. Or hi, Daniel. Hi, Josh. Thomas says, thanks for that info. I'm probably a little bit behind in the chat. But yeah, how's everybody doing? How's all your sales doing? I'm excited to get back in the swing of things and list this week. I didn't do anything last week except ship postcards, just because I was so sick and then out of town. But yeah, I'm very excited with the start to the week. Up to, let's see, or yeah, sold that. I've sold 25 postcards yesterday, which is always good. Sold that Halloween one that, you know, it's always nice to sell a several $100 postcard to start your week. Because, I mean, I have a benchmark in my mind that I want to be at per day. Usually around $200 or $300 per day. And it usually just depends on, and this is, you know, net of eBay fees and not, you know, taxes, but just basically the money that goes into my bank account. I want it to be around an average of $200 a day. Usually, but if I start the week off really good, like this week, I've already crossed 600 and we're at Tuesday. So this week I'm going to be aiming for an average of 300 a day, which is 2,100, which I think I can do. But it's going to be tough. It's always tough to hit those stretch goals. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if other people look at it like that. I know some people get payouts daily. I get them weekly, and I like the weekly because daily you can never really tell much. You know, some days you might get $200, some days you might get $20 if you had a really bad day. So the weekly gives me a good view of how my, sales are doing, and if I got this much money last week and then I'm getting this much money this week. I don't know. But yeah, all that to say I'm off to a great start this week, and knock on wood, hope it continues. Carla said, "You're welcome. Have you managed to solve the problem with your quantity on your listings?" Kelly in our Discord helped me a little bit. He identified the problem, I believe, but unfortunately there's not a good way to edit all. You can't bulk edit what it is. So the issue is something or my listings for some reason are getting categorized as lots. Sorry, just adjusting my screen there. My listings are getting categorized as lots. So if you go to one of my listings, it will say one lot available, one item in lot, or something like that. I think I'm just going to give up because it doesn't really matter. I made sure that after somebody buys something, it does go out of stock and it doesn't show in my store anymore. That was the main thing I was worried about. And it doesn't seem to be affecting my sales at all. It's just like a weird kind of, I don't like that it says that because it's not like a lot. But yeah, I don't think there's a way to fix it. There used to be an option on eBay to sell something as a lot, and with the new listing tool, they kind of hid that option, so it's pretty hard to find. And it's also not available in the bulk listing editor. So there's not a way for me to bulk edit all of the listings and say I don't want to sell them as a lot. And I know why it's happening. It's because I'm using I'm generating listings from photos, and really I don't get any information from eBay that is helpful. Like, it doesn't generate a title or a description or a price or anything that it could probably do with like sports cards. The only reason I use it is because it lets me upload all of my pictures and create 100 listings with the one click instead of having to upload pictures for every single listing. So I don't want to stop doing that, and yeah, so I'm just gonna live with it, and hopefully they fix it soon. But fortunately, it doesn't seem to be affecting my sales, and it's just, maybe slightly confusing for buyers and a little annoying for me. Alan said, "My first full year selling postcards, patches, and a few other items I find at estates was 21,000, and after fees, postage, store subscription, etc., about 9,600 net gross. Nice. Yeah, I would say I was probably more aggressive starting out, and I think I want to say I made slightly less than you. I'd have to go back and look at our taxes and everything, but I want to say my first year I spent, and keep in mind I was working full time while doing this, so I wasn't expecting any income from it necessarily, and I was looking at it more of like building a business. But I think my first year I spent about 50,000 and made 45,000, so net, or sorry, reverse those. Made about 50,000 and spent about 45,000, so roughly made about 5,000 net. But every year since then has been much better. And the first year I knew I was going to put a lot of money into it and not necessarily see a lot of return, but I was just basically building up inventory that entire first year, and of course had bigger purchases like scanners. I think I bought a laptop to work on, printer, things like that. So yeah, that's great though. That you're at about almost 50% net profit is really good. And I would say I only really got uh, higher than that within the last year. So, and that's because I was depending on it for, I mean, not quite my entire income, but the vast majority of my income. So, but yeah, that's really good. Josh said, "We have been beta testing our software in your niche. You may have seen our listings." Beta testing your software. I have seen our listings. Okay. Is that a message you got from eBay, or do you work from eBay and you're telling us that? Because that would be cool. I have a lot of questions if you do. No, just kidding. Yeah, I assume you saw that message from eBay somewhere. That's neat though. So yeah, they're trying to iron things out with this AI tool thing, and I'm not too worried about it saying, one lot available, one item in the lot, because at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, in the future, it would be awesome if it could generate at least the start of a title, and I don't know if the pricing thing could ever be there because a lot of postcards are just so unique and difficult to price that it would be very, very difficult for AI to ever be excellent at pricing postcards, especially based on what I've seen from AI so far, which, some things it can do really well, but a lot of things it is very poor at and confidently incorrect. Alan said 16,000 items up now. Nice. Yeah. I would, if I had to do it over again, I would probably write down when I hit certain milestones. And I say that now, but I know I won't actually write down when I hit other milestones in the future. But you can actually, I think you can use the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine and put in the link to your eBay store, and it archives it. Like, I think when I checked mine, I was trying to see how many listings I had on a certain date because I thought the number was screwed up, which it was. But I think it archives my store every few months. Your mileage may vary, but that's one way you can go back and see how many listings you had on a certain date. Yeah, I've been hovering just because I've been sick a few times over the last month and out of town. I've been at 28,000 for about the last month, but yeah, working towards 30,000. Hopefully, we'll hit that near the beginning of April. And yeah, it's been, if a lot of people, to be successful doing postcards, the main thing is just to get your listings up. And a lot of people get burnt out, or, they change their strategy and they don't want a big store. But that's really what you need to do to make good money doing it. So, yeah, I'm about to hit 30,000. I'm really happy with, like, this last week when I was sick and I didn't list anything and I went out of town. I netted $1,100 from eBay that week, and I'm very happy about that. I know last week, or not last week, last year when I went out of town, I remember it just because it was also a wedding that I went out of town for last June, and I barely cleared $500 for that week, and it may have been slightly under, but uh, yeah, that's one thing I look at is basically how much money am I making when I'm not doing any work listing, and to have it at a point where it's over $1,000 a week is incredible to me. So I'm very happy with that. And all it takes, I mean, my store was maybe what, less than 20,000 at this time last year. So yeah, the work compounds on itself, and the work you do today and tomorrow and the next day, you won't see the result. You'll see some results of that immediately, but the majority of the results of that, it'll take months and years to feel. But I get very excited whenever, even now, whenever I sell a postcard. I showed the one on my What Sold video yesterday that I sold for $1, but I'm still even really happy when I sell that card because I know that every penny that I get from eBay is profit from that card because it's been paid. That lot's been paid off many, many times over, and I don't know. There's something really satisfying about selling inventory that's been up for a really long time. Josh said, "Are there any Grail cards that you really want?" Oh, good question. Yeah, mainly from where I live in my hometown. Unfortunately, I live in a very competitive town for postcards. I can show you a few actually that recently sold that I missed out on, and I was a little salty about it, but like there's only so much I can justify paying for a single postcard right now, and when I'm retired, or yeah, when I'm retired, or have a lot more disposable income. I can spend more, but yeah, this is one of them. I'll see if I can share my screen. Okay, let's see. And actually, it gives me some like help message every time. So I'm gonna see. Oh yeah, don't show these tips again. Um, okay. Okay, here we go. There we go. Yeah, this is an Athens postcard that I recently missed out on. And I'm sad, but I don't know how much I would have had to pay to get this postcard because the person that won it had two bids that were higher than mine. I was the second place bidder, but yeah, they had two bids that were higher than mine. So I don't know what I would have had to pay to get this, $400 or $500 maybe. But yeah, I really wish. Yeah, this is a Grail postcard for me. I wish I could have won this. I think I ended up bidding around $230, which is just as much as I could justify paying. This postcard I did bid on. This one sold for $262. I don't think it would sell for that today. Uh, it's an uncommon postcard of a parade. I think I bid around 100 on this one, so there were several other people ahead of me. This is a really nice card that sold recently of Athens. I had never seen this card before, and I've seen the collections of the biggest Athens collector that I know of, and he didn't have this card, so I don't think any Athens collectors have this card, which is why it went for so much. But yeah, really, really nice one. I wasn't even in second place on that one. I think I bid around 120. Uh, oh yeah, I did win a few though. So one good thing about Athens is that the collectors primarily focus on the very old stuff currently. So I'm still able to get really good like 30s and 40s era stuff without paying an insane price. So this card I recently got of Athens, that one went for 100. This one also I got for 100. This one I got from the postcard dude, and really happy to get that one. And then this is another Athens one that I got. Another photo card from around the 30s or 40s. But yeah, Athens, I'd say. Oh, I was lucky enough to buy this card. I think at auction it would have gone for more, but I was the first one to see it, and it was listed for fixed price. So I bought it, and yeah, it's one of only two early photo cards I have of Athens. So that one's definitely a treasured one in my collection. And with the South, yeah, if you live in a different state and collect postcards, in a lot of other states, it's just a lot easier to find postcards. And I would say just look up whatever, a medium-sized city is in your state and see what's available. And chances are there's a lot more than that you can get for a good price than I can, unfortunately. I wish it was different. But Athens, we have, what is our population right now? I mean, the university in Athens was founded in the 1700s, so it's a really old town. Okay, yeah, we have 128,000 people in Athens, just slightly smaller than Savannah. But yeah, I only have two early photo postcards I've been able to find from Athens in the 4 years that I've been collecting Athens postcards. So, unfortunately, it is quite hard to find good stuff from Athens, and yeah, when you do, or when good stuff does come up, it usually goes for a crazy price. Alan said, went to Dulles Postcard Show. Dulles, I think I'm saying that right, but I really don't know. Hosted by Mary L. Martin. Seemed like 85% of the boxes were for collectors and 15% were for resellers. Mary L. Martin had five 25-cent boxes, and I bought a bunch of those. Nice. Yeah, a lot of it is, yeah, a lot of it is like that. And I've talked about what I think of postcard shows before, but I'll talk about it again in a minute. But yeah, did you get, I know you're going to try to buy a good number of Continental cards at the show. Were you able to get a decent number of Continental cards? And did you buy any boxes of cards? I'd be interested to hear that. Because I've actually never bought any full boxes at shows before. I should have. I went to one show. If Hal's still here, Hal was at this show. It was the show in Kansas City, 2023, I believe. Yeah, 2023 Kansas City show. I think 2023. Um, but there was one dealer that set up shop at that show, and they were just, getting rid of everything. So they were selling things by the box. And they had boxes of RPPCs, and I think it was $250 a box, or 300 maybe, but I should have went over there and bought. I'm still mad at myself I didn't go over there and buy everything they had, but yeah, it was like there was like a commotion across the room, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" I was like, "Oh, they're just selling everything by the box." And then right when I heard that, I should have just gone over there and like, "I'll take it all." But I did not, and I still think about that to this day because there was a ton of good stuff there. And yeah, not often do, or I mean, it's not like I've been to a ton of shows, but I don't think it happens at every show that a dealer is selling all of their inventory by the box. But yeah, anyway, I was going to talk about my philosophy of shows, which, I should, I'm not really at shows to make money, is how I kind of look at shows. Um, I do try to buy some cards that will pay for my trip, if that makes sense. But I really don't look at dollar and quarter boxes at shows, and I mainly look at better boxes. And some of the better, it shows it's kind of, I'm kind of half and half buying stuff for myself and buying stuff to sell. So, you know, a lot of cards I'll pay up on because it's something I collect. And then I do buy some cards to sell to basically try to pay for my trip. But yeah, I don't know. The collector in me just doesn't like looking through the dollar and quarter boxes. I love looking at the better stuff. And I know financially it would be better if I only looked at the dollar and quarter boxes and was just buying stuff to sell, but I don't want to lose the enjoyment I get from postcard shows, which I think I would if I just, had to pour over hundreds of dollar boxes every, if it was a 2 day show, like for 16 hours. Alan said I did. They brought 2 boxes from their store just for me. Oh, nice. Continental and 50% are nice. 10% really nice. 30% not bad, not too exciting, and 10% nothing anyone would want. Yeah, you always get the 10%, The, what are they? Like the Mount Rushmores and Niagara Falls of the world. But no, that's a really good ratio. 50% nice, 10% really nice. I would take that all day. Uh, yeah, I need to get more Continental cards. I yeah, I'm gonna take a page out of your book in the next show I go to. Actually, Hal, if you're here, tell the dealers in Wichita to bring Continental cards because we are definitely planning to go to Wichita this year. It's already been agreed upon by both parties, and I'd love to buy some boxes of Continental cards in Wichita. I'm even willing to pay for an extra suitcase on the flight back. um, no, yeah, I'd really love to buy more Continental cards because I love listing them, and they're not saturated at all currently. So I need to get more. I did have one I listed the other day, which it was a little bit of a disappointment for me. I don't know if all of you watch Lil's postcards, but I watched her video and she had a Continental card she sold of the Kansas City Chiefs football stadium that I think she sold for around $50. And I saw that video and I was like, I saw that card literally the other day and I pulled it to list. So I went in my stack of Continental cards and was like, I'm just going to list this tomorrow and see what happens. And unfortunately, the one I had was a lot more common. And I think it's up for $5.95. But yeah, she got $50 for that Continental Stadium card. And yeah, I'm always pulling good Continental cards to list. I probably, don't list as many of them as I could. I'm still pretty picky when it comes to Continental cards, but yeah, I'd love to get some really good Continental stuff and list more. Josh said, who are the big postcard dealers in the niche? Uh, I say niche. I know other people say niche. I don't know. I don't know how. I'm sure there are a lot of ways you can pronounce it. Anyway, sorry. I keep getting sidetracked. Who are the big postcard dealers in the niche? The biggest dealers are probably Marielle Martin. She sells on eBay under Bayside Antiques, and she also has her own website, and she also sells at shows, and she also does shows. She's probably the biggest dealer in the United States. Another big one is Refried Jeans. They have their own website, but they also sell on eBay under a couple different IDs. I know they have obviously Refried Jeans, but they're also the Postcard Peddler, and they have a couple other ones that I can't think of right now. Mike Blood, the Postcard Dude, who you all probably know of since me and Popeye have both interviewed him. Let me think. I'm trying to think of really, really big ones. Oldpostcards.com. I believe he sells on eBay. I'm not sure what his username is, but oldpostcards.com, the website, has a ton of cards, like a million. That is Alan, I believe, and I think he was from Colorado, but maybe moved to Georgia. There's Card Cal, who is Eric, and he is a huge seller. He sells on eBay, Amazon, and he also has his own website. I'm sure there's people I'm missing. If I forgot you, please don't be offended. But no, those are the ones that I'm thinking of right now. So Marielle Martin, Mike Blood, the Postcard Dude, Card Cal, oldpostcards.com, and I forgot the other one I mentioned, Refried Jeans. But yeah, there's one overseas German dealer that fascinates me. They have an Instagram account which I follow, and their website is mostly they have an English website too. It's ansich6kartenversand.com. So the name of their website is in German, but I think that's German. I'm sincerely sorry if I have my languages mixed up. But yeah, they have almost 2 million postcards online, and they just fascinate me because I think they're one of the biggest dealers in the world. And I don't think anyone else has as many postcards listed online that they do. And they would probably give Marielle Martin a run for their money, and as far as total number of postcards that they have. But they posted on Instagram a little while ago a reel of a machine they have that I know it automatically labels their postcards, but I believe it automatically sleeves their cards as well. And I just thought it was fascinating because they're basically this large business that has several employees. I don't know exactly how many. If I had to guess, I would say 10 to 20 employees. And yeah, they've just made postcard reselling basically this huge business. So I think they're really cool. And I know they're not in the US, but worth mentioning. Where was I? Alan said, I would buy from them again. I'm getting tired of bulk buys. I really like buying after searching boxes. I would buy from them again. I'm getting tired of bulk buys. I really like buying after searching. Oh, you mean like if you get a chance to see what you buy before you purchase it? Yeah, that's definitely the way to go if you have the chance. And then also, I don't know if this is what you meant, but cherry picking too, and just buying the cards you want to sell. I love doing that just because there's no waste. You usually have to pay a little bit more per card, of course, but yeah, there's no cards that you can't sell. He said they have a whole room of Continental cards. I bet they do. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how big that room is. That doesn't surprise me at all. I wonder what they do as far as Continental cards. I I think they list some of them individually, but I'm sure they're pretty selective with them. But if you know what they do with Continental cards, let me know, because I know dealers like Mike Blood. I mean, he might change what he does in the future, but last I spoke to him, he only lists early foreign-sized Continental cards, which are like 50s and earlier, and he doesn't list any U.S. Continental-sized cards, which are 70s and later. So I'd be curious to know what Mariel Martin does. I think they list some, but I'm not. I'd have to go digging in their store to to double check. Carolina Pick said, "Are you going to Allentown?" Not. It's not on the schedule for this year currently. Um, the only one I'm sure about is Wichita, just because I've promised Hal for several years that we would do everything I could to make it out there, and finally making it happen this year. Might only go to that show this year, but I definitely want to go to Allentown and also York in the future. Um, Moments to Memory said Alan just moved old postcards to Toccoa, Georgia. Okay, yeah, I think I've purchased from them for my collection before, or from him, and I know I saw his return address was Toccoa now, which is cool. Yeah, Toccoa is not too far away. It's just a little bit north of me, so postcard neighbors now. No, I guess he had to move all of those postcards to Georgia, which is kind of insane to think about. SM Postcards. Nobody gave me a warning we were going to have a celebrity come in the chat today. Hey, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Hope the drone business is going well. We miss you. It's crazy. I was so disappointed the first Monday that there wasn't a new SM Postcards video. I know you said the last one was going to be, I think, the last Monday in February, and I lost track, and I didn't even know it was the last one. What do they say? One day you're going to pick up your child for the last time, and you're not going to know it's the last time. That's how I felt watching the last SM Postcards video, but I hope your drone business is so successful that you're able to flip it to a venture capitalist for millions of dollars, and they give you an offer you can't refuse, and you have to get out of the drone business, and you take your millions of dollars and reinvest it back in the postcard business. That's what I hope for you. No, I do hope you have time to make videos soon, but I understand your absence, and it's definitely, with the quality of videos you did and the regimented schedule that you kept up, it's definitely no easy task. Drone season is starting up and we'll be out and about a lot. Yeah, do you do a lot of weddings? I know you do, or do some like real estate. I guess, I don't know. I don't know why I said weddings. I just thought of that because we'd been to a wedding. We went to a wedding last week, but now that I thought of that, I've never seen a drone at a wedding before. But yeah, I know you do a lot of like houses, and yeah, you said news. Sorry about that. Just not enough time in the day. No worry. You have your archives online. I will keep enjoying your archives, Mark. And yeah, your favorite. I don't know if I've told you this before, but my favorite video. I think I have told you this before. My favorite videos you've done are the Brimfield Flea Market. I don't know what it is, but like if I'm just working during the day or need something to zone out to, I just put those on, and I've probably watched those, at least a dozen times. Thomas said Popeyes and SM Postcards put postcard at the beginning of their titles. Any thoughts, good or bad? Well, I don't think it really matters either way. I just put it at the end because postcard is already in the category. So if somebody searches for Georgia postcard, your item's going to come up even if it is not in your title. So that's why I put it at the end. But I really don't think it matters either way. The reason for putting it at the front is just so that when buyers look at your item, they know right away that it's a postcard, and there's no second guessing and like, oh, I mean, this doesn't matter with a lot of postcards, but if you have like a postcard of a dinosaur statue or something, I don't know, then somebody might think, oh, am I buying the statue, or is this just a picture of it, So that's the reason for putting it at the front, but I put mine at the back, and I don't think I've ever had a person be like, hey, I didn't know this was a postcard. I thought I was actually buying the pier in Myrtle Beach. No, no, you don't really have that problem, but, or we crash and make the news. Yeah, that too, but no, Yeah, you'll be very successful, I'm sure. I mean, you already are very successful, which is why you had to stop making videos. No weddings. We do not fly over people plus bridezillas. Yeah, you should though. Fly. Uh, Actually, I'm sure you haven't ever done this, but what you could consider is getting into the prank business and flying drones to prank people into thinking they're UFOs. Uh, if I'm a rich person with a lot of money, I would pay somebody to fly drones. If I knew somebody was susceptible to believing in aliens, I would pay somebody to fly drones over their house to freak them out. I would pay them good money to do that. Um, but yeah, yeah, no weddings. That makes sense. I don't know why I said that. I've never seen a drone at a wedding once. I'm sure some weddings have them, but I don't know why you'd really want pictures from a drone from your wedding. Uh, Alan, oh no, SM Postcards, how am I going to find out if coffee pot postcards sell? Just joking, big fan. Yeah, uh, yeah, that's funny. That the coffee pot postcard that was actually the next video he was going to make before the drone business took off. No, no, I loved all of the niche topics Mark would cover because I learned so much from your videos. I Half of the topics you covered I had never heard of, like Merry Widow hats. No idea that was even a thing. Copper windows, had no idea about those. So yeah, I appreciated it, and nobody else is making content like Mark or was. Hey Josh, you have been busy? Might pop on tomorrow. Oh, what's happening tomorrow? Oh, Beard. I don't know who Beard is. Mark, I know you talked to Pittsburgh Pickers. Tell Adam to get back on YouTube. Tell him, tell Adam, actually, Mark, please still be here because this is a serious offer. I know they're super busy, but tell Pittsburgh Pickers that if he starts doing live streams again, I will send him a free box of postcards. That's a genuine offer, and I will pick out good postcards to send him. Free box on me. Let's see. I'll make the conditions. You have to do at least 4 streams. So you can't be one and done, but I'm not going to be like, you do this forever. 4 live streams. I'll send you a free box of postcards. I put postcards in front as I started that way and just left it. Yeah. I don't think it really matters either way what you choose to do. Whatever your heart desires, I say is what you should go with. New Jersey already has a market on drone hysteria. Yeah, they do for sure. In New Jersey, yeah, they were a drone hotspot. I really like doing them. I must have missed that. I really like doing it. Maybe some drone thing, I don't know. I subscribe to your store as some postcards just as a way to pay for the great videos and guidance. Yeah, I will be a YouTube member of both Mark and John for the rest of my life, or however long they keep their YouTube membership up, whichever comes first. But yeah, because I can't pay them back enough for all of the videos and information they put out. I spoke with Adam a couple weeks ago, and he's busy with some big deals they're doing. Yeah, sounds a little... Are those deals he's doing bigger than getting a free box of postcards in the mail? I don't think so. If somebody told me they would send me a free box of postcards to do live streams on YouTube, I would absolutely do it because I already do live streams on YouTube and I love postcards. But if you just relay the message, I understand, very busy. This is a standing offer. No expiration date. Whenever they are able to return to YouTube, a free box of postcards is my carrot on the stick for them. Nancy said, I've seen wedding party photos around here with drones. Oh, cool. Yeah, wedding party. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess they fly them at like eye level and take photos that way. Because I can't imagine you would want to shoot pictures of your wedding with a drone like 50 feet in the air. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, it's been a couple of years since I got married now, so I don't know if the latest trends are, drones in the sky. But my sister didn't have a drone, and she just got married, so. Thanks, Elena. Keep Ko-Fi running, easy to do, and try to keep costs low for sellers. Yeah, I saw your community post the other day, actually, Mark. It looked like you had a lot of lots going out. I don't know. I'm sure at least one of those was Ko-Fi, right? But yeah, it's great that you do the Ko-Fi store because I refer people to your Ko-Fi store all the time. And I can't tell you how many people have asked me how do I set up my Epson scanner, and I'm like, boy, do I have the PDF for you. No, it's great. And glad you're keeping that open. Moments to Memory said, I've learned from Mark what not to spend time on with his sell-through rate, besides special topics on the videos. Yeah, they're very informative, and Mark has a very neat way of looking at things, and there's a lot of things I never would have thought of, like the sell-through rate guide that he has put together and how he, analyzes lots and stuff like that. But yeah, we're all very grateful for you, Mark. I will let Adam know. Thank you, sir. And, no pressure, but standing offer whenever. Weddings are normally on weekends, and I'm retired, and weekends are not on the schedule. There you go. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Maybe drones at weddings are a thing. Who knows? My sister got married on a Friday. I don't know if Friday late afternoon is off your schedule as well. I would assume that counts as the weekend, but um, yeah, drones at weddings. How are your brother's book sales going? Says Carolina Picks. Really good. Excuse me. Yeah, I think he sold. I think he ended up selling 200 to 300 copies so far. Or the last I checked with him, which was about a month ago. So yeah, I mean, it's super hard for any new author to gain traction just because of the amount of books that exists and the amount of people that are writing new books. I mean, if I had the numbers for the average book sales for like a new author releasing their first book, I would imagine it would be like 10, just because it's so hard to sell a book for a self-published author. But yeah, I think it's been really well. And yeah, loved his book, and I've heard from a couple people that bought it that they really loved it too. So happy I could introduce you to my brother, the author. um, Nancy said, when a postcard pops up to send offers to watchers, how long do you wait to send an offer? I've waited to see if they are looking and might buy at full price. Typically, I will send offers once a day. I usually do it right after I list postcards for the day. And that's so no postcards that I just listed will have offers sent for them. So yeah, I do once a day. Usually I don't on the weekends because I'm just, thinking about other things that aren't postcards. But I don't think there's a science to it. I don't think it really matters. I know there are a subset a subset of buyers on eBay that will add an item to their watch list and wait for you to send them an offer to buy it. That's totally fine with me. That's why I wait a day, so it gives anyone, if there's anyone else really interested in it, they would have gotten notified by eBay that a new item matching their search parameters has been listed. And I have a lot of things that sell for full price within the first day, so I don't really think I'm missing anything by sending offers a day after listing. But yeah, I don't think there's any science to it. Just I wouldn't go crazy and send them like every hour on the hour or anything. But I don't know, once or twice a day. What does everybody else do? Mark said I send offers to buyers automatically whenever they pop up. And also, FAA have rules on flying over people, plus my insurance frowns on that for sure. Yeah, I had a drone back before there were really any rules about drones. At least, it's been at least 10 years ago now. And yeah, it was so cool because you could really just fly wherever you wanted. I mean, obviously, you couldn't fly near an airport or anything like that, but other than that, there weren't really any restrictions and laws and regulations. So, yeah, I would just, fly over the neighborhood because nobody cares. But yeah, I'm sure it's a lot more strict and businessy and corporate-y now. Probably not as fun, I would imagine. But I had a lot of fun. I would just fly them for fun. I did fly at the beach one year. Um, yeah, that was really cool. And it was I don't know. Drones were really cool back then. I mean, maybe they still are. I don't know. I'm sure they still are if you can fly in places, but when I took it to the beach, I would fly it like out in the ocean and would see how far it could go. Because after it got like a certain distance away, it would turn around and fly back. So I would get it like pretty far out there in the ocean, and it would just, I mean, looking back, I probably shouldn't have done it because there was like this $500 drone in the, like, I don't know, 500 feet over the ocean. But no, it was really cool taking pictures with drones back then. That's a good, nice, nice growing business to get into, I imagine, because I mean, more and more people I think are using drone photography, and it's not like other types of photography where, if you're a lot of other photography you can do yourself, like, obviously the vast majority of people are going to hire a wedding photographer, but if you're having another event where you want photos taken, like you have the equipment to do that. If it's your kid's birthday, you're just going to take pictures on your phone. If it's an anniversary or like a wedding, or not a wedding, God, why did I say wedding? What was I going to say? Birthday. I already said birthday. I don't know. I'm struggling to think of events, but I feel like with most events, people are fine taking pictures by themselves because everybody has a phone that can take pretty good pictures. But drones are one thing that, I would say most people don't have the ability to take photos like that themselves, which is why I think it's a good business model. Mark has to go and pick up the grandkids. I will keep in touch. Have a good one, Mark, and stop by any Tuesday that you wish. Any Tuesday of your choosing. We would be very happy to have you. Always good to see Mark in the chat. And glad he's doing well and misses videos. As I do Popeye's videos. It's a lonely world for a postcard YouTuber now. No, we actually have some new ones, and I'll just take some time to mention those because I know I'm not the best about promoting people on my channel, which I should be better at. But there are some new postcard YouTubers, some newer than others, and I don't always promote them as much as I should. So we have First Postcard Planet. Well, that's not a new one. I apologize. But, check out Postcard Planet if you're interested. Postcard Reflections was who I was thinking of. And I will put their link in the chat. I haven't gotten any negative complaints about my audio today, so I assume it's been good. If the audio has been terrible since it's about to get to the end of the stream, please just let me believe that it's been good the whole time and don't rain on my parade. But if the audio actually has been good, feel free to chime in and let me know in the chat. Postcard Reflections just started not too long ago, and they're just getting off the ground. So go and follow Postcard Reflections, and Postcard Time Traveler makes some really cool videos about history of postcards, and they put a unique spin on it, not just about selling postcards. Let's see, I'm just looking through my YouTube subscriptions right here, which is a mess. I am subscribed to a wide array of YouTubers. Yeah, my genres I like are entertainment, political entertainment, horror, video games, reselling, of course, yeah, news, miscellaneous music, just a complete mishmash of all channels that I love. There was one or two more that I meant to mention. I'm still looking. Oh, Lil's Postcards, I definitely meant to mention. I know she's been doing it for a little while now, but, always can use more attention. And we also have Kevin. Let's see, where are you, Kevin? Postcard guy. Are you the postcard guy? Oh, the postcard guy. I was looking in the P's. when I should have been in the T's. Kevin, the postcard guy, has also been going for a little while, but is a great watch, and I love seeing what you get in the mail. So those are probably, I know they're not all super recent, but more postcard YouTubers for you to check out. Um, and Hal, I know you said Crow's Nest Postcards. I don't think he's on YouTube yet, but if you can convince Crow's Nest to get a YouTube channel, that would be incredible. Or even if he would do a presentation for the club, because that would also be great. Uh, yeah, but Crow's Nest Postcards on eBay is one of my favorite sellers too. And I met him at the Kansas City show a couple years ago. But yeah, great guy. And yeah, it would be great if we could convince him to yeah, present to the. I don't think he would ever do it just because he. I just don't think his personality would be someone who would present in a video recording. But if we could, that would be really cool. And yeah, Crow's Nest is one of my favorites too. But yeah, all those other YouTubers, if you're interested in postcards, you'll love those four. So that can help you fill the void of SM postcards and Popeyes postcards. Let me see, where was I? Too many tabs open again. Brad said, Daniel, when you buy a box of cards, do you sort them into types, RPPC divided back linen, etc., or just sort them by which are the more valuable? I guess I'm lazy because the only thing I do is pick out the ones that I want to sell myself or keep myself to collect. So no, I don't sort them by any other way. Uh, I mean, it might be a little bit easier for me to list if I did, but it's really not hard for me to list. Just a mishmash of postcards like I do now, like all different states. I don't do much holiday, so I don't really have to worry about that, but I don't sort them. What I do need to get better at sorting is all of the postcards that I am not going to sell individually myself because yeah, I have some really nice ones, and I've been lazy, and I've been selling those in bulk, like tens of thousands at a time. But I know I could do better with those if I sorted through them, which I need to start doing. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Probably more than answers your question. Hal said he does not do YouTube. Yeah, he's yeah, just I don't think he could do his own website too, and he would do well with that. But I believe he's only on eBay. Crow's Nest postcards. Uh, Alan said, "Hi Brad, I do sort by eras, and it really speeds up my posting. By state too, if I buy a big lot. Oh, cool. Yeah, nice. So yeah, there's more than one way to do it, and works for Alan, so I'm sure it could work for you too. I think the reason why I don't is mainly just laziness. Although, if I did do it, it might save me more time in the long run by making listing more quickly, but I don't know. A tough decision, tough decision. All right, I'll probably be wrapping up here soon. Going to enjoy this beautiful, what is today? Tuesday afternoon. The sky is perfectly clear outside. We did have some drama in our neighborhood yesterday. There was a dying raccoon crawling around. As I say that, I realize it sounds ridiculous. There was a dying raccoon crawling around the neighborhood yesterday, and I think it ended up in my neighbor's driveway. So I'm gonna go out and check to see how the raccoon is doing, and yeah, hopefully it didn't end up on our yard before it passed away. Yeah, condolences to the raccoon and his family. But yeah, I don't want that on my property. uh, Don said, "Do you ever have issues getting your scanner to properly scan sepia toned RPPCs? Mine just won't do it." Well, Don, do I have the PDF for you? No. If you do have an Epson scanner, though, I do have the PDF for you because it's a common issue. I'm going to try and find it. Let me know in the chat if you have the Epson scanner. I know you can solve it with other scanners too, but unfortunately Mark only has the guide. Well, he might have one for the Fujitsu. Let me see. Let's see. Here's the Epson. No, I think he only has the Epson. This has been downloaded 179 times, so it's very popular. Here's what I tell everybody to download. It's Mark's scanner settings. And if you just follow those, oh, you have a Fujitsu. There's settings in there to do it too. God, which one is it? Make sure you're always scanning in color instead of black and white. Sometimes I think this is it. So if you go into the settings of your scanner, there's a setting, I believe, to identify if something is in black and white. It's like so you're going to need to turn the color setting, turn auto off. You want to always scan in color, and that makes the RPPCs come through correctly. What happens with the Fujitsu, I believe, I used to have the Fujitsu. The issue, I think, is when the color detection is on auto and it detects something as black and white, and for whatever reason, it just comes out poorly. But let me know if that doesn't fix it for whatever reason, and we can troubleshoot some more. You can email me if you want, just daniel@mailgm.com if that doesn't fix it. But I think, if you dig around in the settings a little bit, it's one of those color settings, I think. Uh, oh my God, poor guy. Yeah, I haven't witnessed the raccoon yet, but I just saw a text from my neighbor yesterday that was like, hey, watch out, there's a raccoon on the loose, dying raccoon just crawling around the neighborhood. Very sad. I feel bad because I don't know. I grew up I've never gone hunting or anything. And I don't think I would like hunting, but I did grow up in the country in Georgia, and like all of my friends and people I went to school with would hunt. And I don't know. I'm desensitized to like dying animals, I guess, unless it's like a pet. But people in my this is gonna sound awful, but in my neighborhood group text thread, the way they were talking, I seriously thought, so the first message, I was working when I got these messages, so I just saw the preview pop up on my watch, so I couldn't read the whole message. The only part of it I saw was that there was a dead animal, and I didn't. The part that said it was a raccoon was cut off. But based on the rest of the messages that I saw, I had thought somebody's dog had been hit in the middle of the road. So I was actually relieved to see that it was just a raccoon. But yeah, our neighbors were very, very upset, which however you want to. I mean, it is sad, but I guess I've just seen a lot of dead skunks, raccoons, aardvarks, and deers in my lifetime that I'm a little desensitized to it. But I would not want to, hopefully it is not in my yard when I go outside to check the mail, is all I'm going to say. Because I don't want to have to deal with the raccoon. But, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up now. I don't know why I just turned on my heater. It's 75 degrees in my office now because I've had the heater on so much. It's like an impulse I have of turning it on whenever I feel a slight breeze. Yeah, thanks for joining me today, everyone. Glad to be back after the unfortunate absence last week. Hopefully, I will not get sick anytime soon. Fingers crossed, I will be healthy for the rest of the calendar year. But yeah, thanks for joining me, everyone. I will be back hopefully next Monday and next Tuesday, if not Monday, because Monday, I mean, sometimes they're just super busy for me, so it's hard to make a what sold. But if not Monday, then Tuesday. Hope everybody has incredible sales and an incredibly great rest of the week. See you soon.